When you think of the pyramids, what's the first image that comes to mind? For most of us, it's thousands of slaves, whipped and driven under the scorching sun, toiling to build a tomb for a tyrannical pharaoh. It's a powerful image, one that's been burned into our collective consciousness by countless movies and stories. But what if I told you that this dramatic scene is almost entirely wrong? Today, we're going to journey back in time. Not to reinforce old myths, but to uncover the surprising truth about who really built the pyramids. Get ready, because the reality is far more fascinating than the fiction. For centuries, the story of slave labor was the accepted explanation. It seemed logical. How else could such colossal structures be built without modern machinery? The Greek historian Herodotus, writing over 2,000 years after the Great Pyramid was completed, described vast teams of laborers working in grueling 3-month shifts. While his accounts are invaluable, they were also based on stories he heard during his travels, not direct evidence. This second-hand information, combined with biblical narratives of Hebrew slavery in Egypt, created a powerful and enduring myth. But modern archaeology tells a very different story. So, if not slaves, then who? The answer lies in the very heart of ancient Egyptian society, the Nile. The Nile River was the lifeblood of Egypt. Every year, its predictable floods would inundate the surrounding farmland, making it impossible to cultivate crops. This annual flood season created a massive, highly skilled and available workforce. For about 3 to 4 months each year, farmers, masons, and craftsmen from all over Egypt would travel to the Giza Plateau. This wasn't forced labor in the way we think of slavery. It was a form of national service, a civic duty. For them, building the Pharaoh's pyramid was a way to serve their king, who was seen as a living god, and to ensure the cosmic order, or Mat. It was a sacred project that united the entire nation. What's the proof? The most compelling evidence comes from right next to the pyramids themselves. In the 1990s, archaeologists unearthed an incredible discovery: the lost city of the pyramid builders. This wasn't a slave camp. It was a highly organized settlement with dormitories, bakeries, breweries, and even a hospital. We're talking about a thriving community. The workers' skeletons show they received excellent medical care. We found bones that were broken and then expertly set, something a slave would never have received. They were also well-fed. Excavations of the site revealed that the workers ate a diet rich in high-quality protein. We found tons of cattle, sheep, and goat bones, suggesting they were feasting on prime cuts of meat again, not the diet of an enslaved workforce. They even received payment in the form of food, beer, and textiles. Further evidence comes from graffiti found inside the pyramids and surrounding temples. These aren't just random scribbles. They are markings left by the work gangs themselves. They had names like the Drunkards of Menkaure or the Friends of Khufu Gang. These names show a sense of pride, camaraderie, and even humor. They were proud of their work, signing their names to the project for eternity. Slave laborers don't get to name their teams, and they certainly don't leave proud signatures on a sacred monument. These were respected, skilled craftsmen, and their graffiti is like a time capsule, giving us a direct voice from the past. So, does it mean there was no slavery in ancient Egypt? Not at all. Slavery did exist, but it was very different from the large-scale chattel slavery that built empires in other parts of the world. In Egypt, slaves were typically prisoners of war, captured foreigners, or people who had fallen into debt. They worked in households, in mines, and on agricultural estates. But there is no evidence whatsoever that they were used for the massive skilled labor required for pyramid construction. The pyramids were the most important state projects. You wouldn't entrust them to an unskilled, unmotivated, and potentially rebellious workforce. You would use your best, your most loyal, and your most skilled citizens. Why, then, does the myth of slave labor persist so strongly? Part of it is Hollywood's love for a dramatic story. A tale of oppression and rebellion is simply more cinematic than a story about civic duty and a well-organized workforce. The biblical story of the Exodus, while a cornerstone of faith for millions, also contributes to this image of Egyptians as slave drivers, even though most historians agree the pyramids were built long before the events described in Exodus would have taken place. The myth simplifies a complex piece of history into an easy-to-understand narrative of good versus evil. But in doing so, it robs the ancient Egyptians of their incredible achievement. The truth is that the pyramids are a testament not to the power of the whip, but to the power of human organization, faith, and unity. They represent a society coming together for a common purpose, a shared belief in their king and their gods. These weren't just tombs. They were national projects that showcased the administrative and logistical genius of the Egyptian state. They demonstrate a level of social organization that was unparalleled in the ancient world. The people who built them were not faceless slaves. They were skilled workers, proud craftsmen, and devoted citizens. They were people just like us, who left behind a legacy that continues to inspire awe and wonder thousands of years later. Next time you see an image of the pyramids, try to picture something different. Instead of chains and whips, imagine a bustling city of skilled artisans. Picture the pride in their eyes as they placed each stone perfectly. Think of the brewers making beer for the workers after a long day's work, and the doctors setting broken bones. The story of the pyramids is not one of oppression, but one of incredible human ingenuity and social cohesion. It's a story of a nation building its way to eternity. Thanks for joining me on this journey to uncover the truth behind one of history's greatest monuments. If you enjoyed this and want to debunk more historical myths, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments what other historical mysteries you'd like us to explore. Until next time, keep questioning everything.